Hello everyone, this is Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 is the new RPG currently in early access developed by Larian Studios based on the game Dungeons & Dragons. This is Dungeons & Dragons, or more specifically, this is Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, a tabletop role-playing adventure of fantasy, magic and shenanigans. Baldur's Gate 3 is being developed to encompass the experience and mechanics of D&D 5th edition, but as with any adaptation, some things have to be altered for a new format. Or do they? D&D 5th edition contains many complex rules outlined mainly in two of the three core books, the Dungeon Master's Guide and the Player's Handbook. Baldur's Gate 3, however, takes these rules and changes, adapts and reinvents some of them for the video game audience at large, particularly those who haven't played D&D 5th edition already. But then I got to thinking, what if we played Baldur's Gate 3 as close to rules as written as possible? Could the game be enjoyed, or even beaten, following Baldur's Gate 3 5th edition? So I thought, why not try? But to do that, first we need to outline the rules and changes that will need to be implemented. For this current early stage of early access, I've picked 10 to get me started. Here they are, in no particular order. Number 1. Food doesn't heal. In D&D, food and drink can often be found in taverns, stores, or simply foraged for out in the wilderness. However, unless that food is magically enchanted, it will fill your belly, but not your hit points. In Baldur's Gate 3, however, there are many food items scattered around, such as apples, pies, or pig heads. Eating these foods would allow the consumer to restore several hit points, but in Baldur's Gate 3 5th edition, we will not be eating food to heal. Number 2. Food and water required to long rest. The most common way to recover at the end of a long adventuring day is to take a long rest. In 5th edition, this means resting for 8 hours, with 6 of them being asleep, for most races at least. This heals your hit points, refreshes your spell slots and abilities, and sets you up for a new day. However, to gain these benefits, each player character must consume an appropriate amount of food and water, a limitation that is not in place in Baldur's Gate 3. Therefore, in our Baldur's Gate 3 5th edition playthrough, food won't be healing us, but we won't be long resting without it. Number 3. No fast travel or camp travel except when located next to an ancient rune circle. Teleportation is an immensely powerful tool in 5th edition, whether you're misty stepping out of the grapple or walking into one tree in a city and exiting from another miles away. It's a great trick to have on hand. Baldur's Gate 3, however, is far less limited. From any location, you can simply teleport to camp at the click of a button. You can also teleport to any ancient rune circle from any location. Realistically, a group of low-level characters won't have this capability, so in our Baldur's Gate 3 5th edition run, teleportation will only be allowed when at a rune circle. Number 4. Shove is an attack action. In 5th edition, each character gets one action on each turn. One of the options to spend your action is the attack action, and one of the attack action options is to shove. If you shove, that means your action is spent. So in Baldur's Gate 3 5th edition, if we shove, that's our action spent too. Number 5. Disengage is an action. Like shoving, in 5th edition, disengaging is an action, unless you're a rogue with a cunning action and such. So, like shoving, for us, disengaging will be a full use of our action. Number 6. Classes can cast class spells only. There are many different spells in D&D 5th edition. Some classes can cast them while others cannot, and each class has their own selection of spells that they can read and understand. However, in Baldur's Gate 3, any character can cast any spell if they find it on a scroll. As such, in our new rule set, a character can only cast a spell from a scroll that appears in that character class's spell list. Number 7. No Scrolls of Resurrection. On the subject of spellcasting, some spells are tougher to cast than others. Many can learn a cantrip, but only the wisest clerics and a few others can cast spells that can bring those who have died back to life. Baldur's Gate 3 offers the players many scrolls to revive dead allies, but at this lower level, any 5th edition party simply couldn't expect to cast them, so we won't be either. Party members who have died will remain dead, at least for the foreseeable future. Number 8. No saving, rerolls, and permadeath. In Tabletop 5e, many huge decisions, plot points, and events are decided on the roll of a dice. There are no save games, no do-overs, no checkpoints. Any actions that occur from me in my playthrough will be the ones that I'm stuck with. If the party dies, then their story dies with them. Number 9. Initiative for all during combat. During tabletop play, if combat breaks out, everyone stops and begins acting on initiative. Even those not actively in a fight will have limited scope for actions in the time period that another player is involved in round-for-round combat. In Baldur's Gate 3, while combat is resolved in initiative, for a different party member who's not in the fight yet, they can spend several minutes sneaking around the perimeter, waiting for the perfect moment to get in on the action. For me, however, if one person is in a fight, every hero must act in initiative to get involved. Number 10. No send to camp, no magic pockets. There are many treasures to be found in both 5th edition and Baldur's Gate 3. You can carry what your encumbrance allows, but unless you have a floating disc or a bag of holding, your scope for moving treasure is limited. In Baldur's Gate 3, however, there is another option: send to camp. This allows a player to offload any heavy goods that they can't accommodate at the time to a chest at a campsite for later use. Such magic is not available in 5th edition and so won't be available to us. You can also magically move items from one hero's inventory to another, regardless of how far away they are from one another. This won't be an option for us though. If someone gets stuck alone, without healing potions or lockpicks when they need them, well, that's just poor planning. So those are 10 rules I'll be following in my upcoming Let's Play of Baldur's Gate 3 5th edition. If you have any other ideas for how to implement 5e Raw into Baldur's Gate 3, please leave them in comments. If this Let's Play sounds interesting to you, please consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.